Hello, everybody. I had a great question emailed to me by a teacher asking about Hyperdocs and just wanting to know more about Hyperdocs and how to make them and use them. And so I was going to put together a little video for that person, and then I kind of thought to myself, you know what? Hyperdocs are really cool. They're really powerful. They can help teachers out a lot. Students tend to like them. They're becoming very popular with teachers, and there could be really useful ways to exploit the hyperdoc to help us with our current situation where we are going to be distance teaching for the rest of the year. So I thought I would share with everyone. I apologize ahead of time. This video is going to be a little long because I'm going to show you a few ways to kind of put together hyperdocs and think about hyperdocs. But if you've never messed with a hyperdoc before, or you don't even know what word I'm saying right now, and you're kind of getting annoyed by hearing it, maybe you should watch this because it's not hard to do, and you might find that you really like this, and you could do this all the time. People have been using hyperdocs since, well, for quite a while, since Google started coming out with the G Suite. I think it was in 2016, there was a book written about hyperdocs that really kind of popularized them. But anyways, I do want to also direct you to a couple of websites that you might find useful. Here's the Cult of Pedagogy website. If you've never been on this website, it's pretty cool anyways. There's lots of stuff. She puts out podcasts and writes articles on a pretty regular basis. This one is from June 11th, 2017. But this is how hyperdocs can transform your teaching. I'll put a link on the email to this too, but it's a nice article about hyperdocs, and you can listen to the interview, the podcast, and all that about that too. But yeah, it's got some stuff in here. There's the book that people have read a lot and think it's pretty cool. I've never read the book. Maybe I should get a copy of that. I've got time to read. So it's got all this stuff in here and kind of how to think about what a hyperdoc is and how to use it. And then if you've ever been on Ditch That Textbook, it's also a pretty interesting website, all different kinds of articles in there. But there's a article in here about hyperdocs that has 14 examples of them. I'll link this to the email as well. So if you want to kind of take it past what I'm going to show you in this video, there's lots and lots and lots of resources. There's even little online classes you can take on hyperdocs, all kinds of stuff, right, that are free. So if you're interested in it, if this interests you at all, there's lots of rabbit hole that you can go down and find out all kinds of things about hyperdocs. So I'm going to show you a kind of just a simple hyperdoc that I've started putting together. So let's just say that I want my students here to do this little assignment where they research home costs in various locations based upon size. And I want them to put low cost, like the lower cost they found at this size home in this box, and the higher cost homes that they found in this box. Now, normally what I would do if I were teaching is I would be in front of class and I would put this up on the screen and I'd talk about it, and we'd probably work through one of them together and fill out one of the rows together so that they would know, what they're supposed to do and all that. I can't do that now because we're not together, right? So how am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to use Screencastify, which is what I'm using right now to talk to you. And I'm going to record me talking about how I want them to do this and, where I want them to type different things and instructions and all kinds of stuff there. So where would I put that? Well, I have this right here. I have video instructions. Now I've already got a link set up in here. So I'm going to actually just delete the link, and then I'm going to put the link back in to show you how I did that. So let's just pretend that I recorded the instructions earlier, and I put them in my Screencastify folder, and they are called Lesson 1 Assignment Instructions. All right, so there's my instructions that I'm going to use in here. Now, you'll notice that your Screencastify folder, you want to have as a shared folder where anyone with a link can view things that are in this folder. That way, anytime you share out a video that you've made on Screencastify, it's already viewable by anyone with that link. Otherwise, you're going to put a video out on one of these things, and it's going to say when they're going to click on it, they're going to say, you do not have permission to access this. And then you're going to get all these emails requesting permission. It's going to be really annoying. So anything that you're going to put in here that you have made actually, like a lesson or whatever, you're going to want to put that little shared permission in there so that your students can actually open that stuff. So here I am back in my Screencastify folder, and I'm looking back for my lesson 1 instructions. Where did I put them? Well, we'll just call it this one. It doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to click on that. I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to hit Get Shareable Link. And you'll notice down here, my little thing's covering up, it says link copied to the clipboard. All right, that's what we want. So now I'm going to go back to my little assignment that I made. I'm going to highlight this whole area. I'm going to hit my link button. And then I'm going to paste that link in there. Just right-clicked and hit paste. And that's the link to that video. So now the students can click that, and they would get the instructions that you made. Now let's say we want them to go to Little Rock, Arkansas, and find houses there. And I want them to use the website Zillow, the real estate website. But I know that they're not used to this website. We haven't had time to talk about this in class. And I want to make sure that they're going to the right Little Rock in the right location. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Little Rock, Arkansas on my own here on their website. And so now I have homes for sale in Little Rock, Arkansas. Okay, so this is where I want them to land. So I'm going to grab this, the address here. I'm going to hit copy, right click, copy. And I'm going to go to the Hyperdoc. I'm going to get Little Rock, Arkansas highlighted. I'm going to hit my link. And I'm going to put in the Zillow address for Little Rock. Hit apply. So now when the students click this, it will take them right to exactly where I want them to go, so they don't go crazy and go off places where we don't want them to go. All right, so you would do that for all this, and maybe you'd have more down here. You could have videos you want them to watch, whatever. But you're turning this into a Hyperdoc. It's a document that has hyperlinks in it. And the students click that, they get the information from the link, and then they come back to this document and they put in their answers or whatever. Some people have kind of looked at this as like it's an advanced worksheet. And it sort of is. It allows students to go gather information from locations that you've had for them already. Could be slideshows that you've put, because remember, you can link to your own Google Drive, anything in there. It could be websites like Zillow, like I have here, or YouTube videos that you want them to watch, Khan Academy. Could be all kinds of things, right? But you set it up in here and you have them go through this. Now, you could also do this on Google Slides. In fact, Google Slides is a really great location to make all kinds of documents. We typically don't think of Google Slides as making documents, but it is really, really good at it. So you would go to Google Slides. Oh, I don't want to do it in that folder. So we want to go to Google Slides. And I'm just making a new slide here. And if I want to change it to be like paper orientation, I'm going to go to File, Page Setup, and I'm going to change this from widescreen to custom, and I'm just going to put 8.5 times 11, which is your standard size of paper. Oops. Hit apply, and now I have a piece of paper shape, and I can type and put in there, and I use this all the time to make documents because it's just more friendly for multimedia. If you want to put pictures and graphs and all kinds of links and images with links on them, and you want to make like a really good looking, sort of more dynamic Hyperdoc that doesn't really look like just a typed document with blue links on it, this is going to be the way to go. You're going to make a much better looking document out of this. But you would just do the same thing, except for, you could have different colors and shapes and images and It's a drag and drop on there rather than this is going to try to format around everything. But it's the same concept. So you can make an assignment this way, and you can have the kids go with this. And as you get used to this, you can make really cool, awesome assignments that are multi-day projects or group projects where they're researching all kinds of stuff, and all the links and all the data and all the kinds of things that you have in here that you want them to work on. You've curated that and you've put it all together for them here, and you know kind of where they're going to go and how that's going to work. So you've made this Hyperdoc assignment. And there are different types of those, and you can kind of explore that. So that's just an assignment. You can also make units. And I put out a video earlier that has a unit organizer. And you can see that this is a unit organizer that I've made about an era in U.S. history. And what I have done here is I haven't finished it, but I started putting in the different hyperlinks in here to all the stuff that we would be doing in class. So on day one, the presentation, the kid would be able to click this and it would take them directly to the presentation, which is completely fake at this point, not filled out, about where we are. Now, as we move through the class, day two, that was supposed to be about women's rights movement, they would click that, and I have linked the actual page in the slide deck that I want them to go to on page 2. And all I do is, if I want them to go to slide 6 on that day, I go to slide 6, and this is the address for slide 6. Each slide has its own address, its own web address. So whatever slide you want a kid to go to, if you want to hyperlink that into your Hyperdoc, click on that slide. This is your link. If they click that link, it'll take them right to the slide you want them to go to in the slideshow. And we could have gone on and on and on. I could link videos off of YouTube into here, right? I could put hyperlinks to videos in here. I could put hyperlinks to assignments. I could even put a hyperlink to the test if I wanted to, depending on how you're going to do that. I also want to show you how you can hyperlink to Google Classroom assignments. So I actually created a hyperlink directly to an assignment in Google Classroom so that when the student clicks that on here, it will take them directly to Google Classroom, directly to that assignment. And it's really easy from the teacher perspective on this 3 dots. There's a way to do it. Here, I'll show you. So here's my class. Let's say I want them to get here. I could just hit copy link. So I want to get them to the video response to Silent Spring. Copy link. I go back to my unit organizer Hyperdoc. And there's video response to Silent Spring, an assignment I expect them to do. I highlight that. I hit insert link. And then I paste the address I just copied from Google Classroom. I hit apply. Now when the student clicks that, it's going to take them right to the Silent Spring assignment, which has the video and what they're supposed to write about. So you can organize your whole unit this way. That's another way to use a Hyperdoc, right? So you could create a specific just assignment that's a Hyperdoc, which is really effective and helps you keep it all kind of under control and in one place. You could create a unit. You could even create a unit Hyperdoc that links to an assignment Hyperdoc. Nothing wrong with that. You can have Hyperdocs inside of Hyperdocs, right? You can have all kinds of stuff there. So you can create all kinds of interesting things, and then it gives the students just a landing page for that. Now, I would always post this in Classroom, and so that they log into Classroom, and at the very top maybe is their unit organizer. They click that, and it helps them keep track of things. You don't want to muddy things up by having way too many options for them to click on and get lost in. So the Hyperdoc, the idea is that you are keeping it all together kind of in one location. They click on it, take them somewhere else, but they can always come back to this one Hyperdoc and kind of ground their thinking and their assignment in one location. So you can use this now. I don't think I'd go this far. for sure with our distance learning, but it depends on what you're doing with kids and what they're able to do from home. But you can certainly organize things for them and post these hyperdocs. And then all the resources you've curated is already there. That's going to save them a lot of time and effort to trying to find things and go places. So you can put that all together for them in a nice way. You can hyperdoc to all kinds of stuff, and it's really pretty powerful. If you look at some of these examples, you'll see where these teachers have had students create maps on Google Maps using a hyperdoc situation, creating websites, all kinds of things. And that leads me to my last point about hyperdocs. If you really get into this whole hyperdoc concept, what you're really doing is you're just creating a very, very basic website. This, for instance, is really just a very basic website. It's being hosted on the web by Google. It has its own web address, and it links and has buttons and it has some interactivity, but it's limited because it isn't really a website. It's a very, very basic website. It's a Google slide, right? So why not just make a hyperdoc on a website? So you could do that, and that's the third way I'm going to show you that. So using my Google 3-dot, my little waffle iron here, I'm going to click that. I'm going to open Google Sites, and if you've never used Google Sites before, it seems intimidating because you're like, I can't build a website. But Google Sites, they've really made it quite easy and really user-friendly. So you would open up, you have your original Google Sites. Jared and I have posted all kinds of videos on how to use Google Sites. So I'm not going to go through how to use all of Google Sites, but if you really want to make an interactive hyperdoc, make a Google site, and you will have made the most interactive, and you could put all kinds of media in here. You could embed videos right into the site where they don't even leave the page, they just watch it right from here. You could embed Google Docs right into the site. You can put pictures and images and graphs. You can put buttons and maps. I mean, you can have all kinds of stuff on here, right? So the most sort of advanced form of it is to actually just make a website. Now I know that won't be for everyone, and it certainly takes a lot more time. But if it's something you're going to use year in and year out for an assignment, just make a Google site. Make it look nice. Link the Google site into your Google Classroom. They click on that. It takes them to an entire assignment. Everything they need, all the resources, it's all on this site for them, all in one place. So you can look at these hyperdocs in all different kinds of ways. So you can make an assignment. You can make, using Google Slides, you can make a more multimedia friendly with graphs and images, right? Because I could replace these with all that. All kinds of stuff in here. Or you could take it all the way to its final conclusion, and you could just make your own website with all the links and images and graphs and videos and everything that goes with that unit of whatever you're teaching with the student, all in one place. And it's a true hyperdoc experience. So I hope that this kind of gets your mind thinking. I understand right now we're all stuck at home and it's hard, and this may not be a thing you take on right now, and I totally get that. But if you're looking for a way to simplify some of your assignments, simplify some of your units, and put all that data information or links and different media you want them to look at in one place, I really hope that you consider the hyperdoc in whatever form you choose to do it. It makes your life a lot easier in the long run, and students really react well to that. There's a lot of research on teacher clarity and making these types of things easier for students, and how they really do succeed a lot more from that. So I hope this was helpful, and I hope you when you have time, or when you got the emotional or the capital, the time capital to spend on this, that you might just try it, experiment with the hyperdoc. And next year, when you have students in your classroom, you can blow their mind with your cool hyperdocs stuff, and you'll really enjoy it because it just really puts it all cleanly in one location for you. So good luck.